Hello and welcome to another Comfy UI video. Today we'll be looking at text to motion and text to open pose in Comfy UI. But before we start this video, I wanted to thank you all for the support on my previous videos. It really means a lot for me, guys. I didn't expect any of this at all, and I'm very happy you guys are enjoying my previous videos. Nevertheless, YouTube is not my main occupation. I actually have my own firm, and I tend to make these videos when I find the time to do so and when I find something interesting to share, right? So yeah, thanks again everyone, and I will definitely put some more time and effort into making more videos and doing this on a more regular basis as we go. Alright guys, so today we'll be looking at this specific workflow. So this specific workflow is basically using MotionDiff. MotionDiff is a node made by FanNovel 16, which is basically an implementation of MDM, Motion Diffuse, and Remo Diffuse. Those are three text to motion models, and the developer was so kind as well to give us some example workflows. That's exactly what we will be looking at today. And you can also find some more in-depth information into the specific nodes on the GitHub repo. Good. So for those of you who don't know MDM, Motion Diffuse, and Remo Diffuse, I will put the link in the description down below, and you can find more information on how these models work and behave on their specific project pages, which we will link down below. All right. So as you can see, this is the workflow that you can download from FanNovel 16's GitHub, and it looks a little bit like this. So here we can choose the model that we want to use. For this specific example, I use the MDM human model. We have choice between two different samplers. I like to use the DDIM. During my experimentations, it turns out to give me the better results, let's say. This is the amount of frames. Here we can input the prompt. As you can see, I say a person is performing a front flip. It kind of tried to do a front flip. It didn't really succeed. It's more like, yeah, it's way better than I would do, but it's still not a front flip. This specific node allows us to change the number of iterations and the step size. There is some logic to it. You can read more into it in the GitHub repo, but it's very similar to training training data. But this very node is for me the most important one, and it's basically the one that allows us to control our camera. So as you can see, I had to fiddle around a little bit with the X and the Y axis so that our animation is fully visible within our frame. Also, I increased the field of view a little to 0.85, also in order to have more field of view in the frame and being able to showcase the whole animation. Although we still see some legs popping out, we can definitely increase it just slightly more in order to avoid that. But yeah, depending on the results that you want to fiddle around with these parameters. Another thing to note is that the field of view is expressed in radians and not in degrees. So you might want to use ChatGPT to convert the specific camera lens degrees into radians in order to achieve the results that you want. However, I did the most common lenses and translated this to radians, so I will put this also in the description below, which will help you have an indication of the different let's say ranges that we can use, right? Cool. So last but not least, there is also a node that allows us to export or 3D meshes. Note that the meshes that are exported are one for each frame of the animation, so you will have to have some 3D knowledge to recompile those into an animation in something like Unity or Unreal Engine, but that's not really my cup of tea. So for those of you who are savvy in 3D, please let me know how to do this, and I'll happily make a next video on that. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, like it, dislike it. However, I'm out. Cheers.